Now that we got that out of the way, I want to talk about how I feel about these price increases with Nintendo. I think it's absurd. I think it's absolutely absurd. I don't understand it. I mean, to me, I feel like when Xbox and PlayStation went in the direction they went, I feel like anybody who stuck with Nintendo, I think Nintendo should have appreciated that. But I'm starting to find out, well, not right now, but over the last few years, I found out, since I've been into Nintendo, since I bought the Switch, I've been kind of keeping up with what they're doing. They're really condescending as hell, man. I mean, they really think a lot of themselves. And look, I gotta give them this. It's not all their fault. A lot of the public treats them like, it's like they treat them like a child in a big family, and they're the little brother, like they're the youngest of 20 other children. That's how they treat them. Like that's the baby boy or the baby girl, the most spoiled child in the house. And I just think that since they're in the situation where they're in, that they make these low budget games, people support them because people want to play those games. They put out inferior hardware. People say, okay, we don't need for the games that you sell and the games that you make, we really don't need that. They walked away from AAA games because AAA games could not play on whatever hardware they had out. That's starting to change because technology is starting to improve. But people stuck with them. They still allowed them to, and you, the customer, believe it or not, you allowed them to stay in the game, no pun intended. You did that by sticking with them. Because like I just said, you're not gonna go out here and buy a Switch only to play Nintendo games. A lot of you guys are out here playing other games, third-party games, and you stuck with Nintendo. And even if you have like a PlayStation or Xbox or a PC, you still have a Switch. You got some people who only have a Switch, but most people who own a Switch, they also own some other type of hardware, more than likely more powerful than a Switch. But people still stuck by the Switch. They still stayed loyal to it. They still gave them their money. There are people out here still buying their old games. Obviously, I mean, I haven't looked at any sales numbers or anything, but look, if they're still keeping their old games at full price, I gotta assume they're having good luck with that they're not seeing any issue with that. So people are sticking by them, man. And you would just think they would appreciate that, but they don't. And like I said, I can't completely blame them. I have to blame other people because you have people out here now, even today, who are defending what they're doing now. The idea that the company who has the lowest budget for their development, the lowest overhead, is the one that's going to increase the price to like $90, 80, $90. I don't care if all games aren't going to cost 80, $90, because all games aren't created equal anyway. There are some games that could get away with $90, and even though I wouldn't buy it, still I could see the reason for it because of so much you could get out of it, like Grand Theft Auto. I know people who've been playing that game for years. I mean, it's got so many different modes and so many different things you can do. It's a game that you could just play forever. I get that. But if you're just gonna make, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that game should cost $90. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that would not be quite as absurd, especially if they came out and because I know they're putting a ton of money into that game. I know that. I'm not unreasonable. I know that. But if they charge $90 for the game, I would not really say anything about it. I wouldn't say it because I would kind of see the logic in it. Like I said, I know they want to make their money back. I know they put a whole lot of money into it. They probably broke a record with how much money they put into it. So I could see that. But the only thing about that, even for them, is that for some strange reason, people tend to switch off their common sense in this industry, and they would think that they could also do the same thing, even though their game is not equal to Grand Theft Auto. They would see that as some kind of standard being set. That's the only bad part about it. And with Nintendo, I'm looking at their games like, okay, now I'm looking at your budget, and I'm looking at the budget of PlayStation, and I'm looking at the budget of Xbox, and I'm looking at the budget of these third-party games who make games for PC. They make AA and AAA games. I'm looking at their budget. If you can have a low budget like you have, and you're gonna charge $80 and $90, that means that they could rightfully say, we're gonna charge anywhere from $20 to $40, or even $150. In fact, you know what? If Nintendo can sell their games for $80 and $90, Grand Theft Auto should be able to sell Grand Theft Auto for $150. I mean, we have to be logical here. I mean, at least I'm going to be logical. And I think from what I'm seeing online, a lot of other people are going to be logical. A lot of people are speaking out against it. This is crazy. And don't get me wrong now, I'm not complaining. Don't take some people, oh, you crying. I'm not crying. You know why I'm not crying? Because I'm not going to buy any of it. I'm not going to buy any of it anyway. And I'm still going to enjoy games. Like I said, that's why I started out telling you I bought the Switch when it first came out. And I walked away from the Switch. And I told you the story about how I saw all those old Nintendo games that still were full price. And how it wasn't even a second thought. I was like, that's absolutely crazy. That is mad. So yeah, it's no problem for me. Also, the price for the hardware, that's not so bad. But the games, come on, man. The price of games should be going down. There's so many games out there. So often you hear people say, there's too many games to play. We can't play them all. They say that because it's true. That's just not something people say to say something cute. That's actually a true statement. It's an understatement, in fact. There are so many games to play, so many sales. There are games out there. Take a moment to think. Think about games that you never got around to playing. Games that you wanted to play, but you just never got around to it. That's why a lot of people buy these handhelds now, so that they can go back and play those games. They can play it conveniently. They can play the main game that they're playing now on their big hardware, their powerful hardware, but they can take that handheld and play those older games. I just finished playing a couple of Call of Duties on my Steam Deck that I just never got around to playing. Everybody, if you're an avid gamer, if you play a lot, everybody suffers that. You cannot play them all. Now, I'm not talking about the people who play 1 or 2 games a year, play FIFA and Call of Duty and maybe Madden. You're good. So of course I'm not talking about you. But if you're a gamer like me, you cannot play them all. It's impossible. In fact, even with the Steam Deck, I still won't be able to play them all. So normally with a product, when you get an overabundance of it out there, the price of it falls. It doesn't increase. Have you noticed that no matter what happens in the industry to save these people money, the price of gaming or the price of the games never go down? I mean, we're going almost all digital now. Still, with all of those billions of dollars that they're saving, price never went down. In fact, the price, it went up a little bit. You know, right now we're talking about AI taking the place of some of the human beings that participate and help making these games. You know what? We could get to a point where they use all AI. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a safe bet. We won't see the savings from that. They could come up with technology where they no longer need motion capture people. They got robots out here now that move like human beings. I've seen a film footage of, I forgot which company that was. One of my coworkers was showing me this robot, and I couldn't believe it. He was moving just like they had him doing tumbles and cartwheels and all of that. So, but we're still not going to see it. No matter what these people do to save money and making video games, we will not see the savings from it. It will not pass to the customer, because that's not how corporations think. The only thing that keep corporations in check is us, folks. That's it. They're not going to check themselves. Their job is to make as much money as they can for their shareholders. We're not beholden to their shareholders. We're beholden to ourselves. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there. I think I've said enough. This video has actually gone on a little bit longer than I thought, and I'm getting a little bit hungry and a little bit thirsty. But anyway, guys, if you like the video, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And look, I did in one of my videos, probably 2 videos ago, I allowed a guy to say something disrespectful, and I kept it up for a reason, but I had an ulterior motive for that. So just remember, for the most part, I not only, in fact, I eventually did delete his comments, and also I blocked him from the channel, but I did let it stay up for about 3 weeks. But normally I block people right away. So if you like Nintendo, that's totally fine. If you want to tell me you think I'm wrong, that's totally fine. I'll be interested to hear what you got to say or read what you got to say. Just keep it respectful, not only for me, but everybody else. Not so much worried about me. Like I said, I'll just delete your comment and block it. All right, so stay respectful. You can say whatever you want to say. I don't care about you disrespecting me. But anyway, guys, until next time, stay safe.